Hey guys, I'm back again to talk about my two favourite things, Julie and the Phantoms and books. I found another tag and I'm very excited because this one is about the songs of Julie and the Phantoms, not the characters of Julie and the Phantoms, and I'm very excited. But there is 15 songs, so that means we have 15 questions. And this tag was created by Megan Reeds in commas and ampersand, so I will link both of them down below. So you can see the original videos of this tag if you want to check them out, or just check out their channels in general. But basically, as I said, it's the Julie and the Phantoms songs book tag, and I'm very excited because I just get to talk about more things I love, and I've even bringing out the Sunset Curve shirt again. Like, I just want to wear this all the time, but then I'll just be looking the same in every video. I would have just had shorter hair, you know, for the next one. But I'm excited for this tag, so let's get into it. So question number one is now or never, a book at the top of your TBR. Well, my need for reading has gradually gone down. Like, I'm in a very bad slump, but I have been reading late at midnight. I'm very proud of myself, and I basically wrote my answers down for this tag about a month ago, and I've only just gotten around to filming it now. So the book I wrote down was Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dare, and I am very excited to read this book, but I just don't know if I want to pick it up yet because I am quite slumpy. I feel like I'm going to keep reading Shadowhunter books at the moment because I'm getting really excited to read those, but other things I'm not too sure about. But I do know that I'm so excited to read this book. I just don't know when I'm going to get to it. But for one thing, this cover draws me in so well because they just are so beautiful, and like her little outfit and his little outfit, and I think this is going to be so much fun, and it sounds like it's going to be really geeky and cutesy, and I've heard good things about it, so I am just very keen. And I know that once I want to start reading everything again, this is right at the top of my TBR, but I just gotta wait for that feeling to set in. Number two is Wake Up, a book that you were hesitant to read. I'm gonna say Take 3 Girls by Kath Crowley, Simone Howell and Fiona Wood, because I did not want to read this at first, and I'm sure if you've been with my channel for a while you would know the struggles that I went through having to read this book for a readathon, because I was doing the book buddy-a-thon with Sash Reads and we had to pick a buzzword for each other or something, and the buzzword she picked was girls, and this was literally the only book I had that had girls in the title, and I did not want to do it. I did not want to pick this up, but I had to for the readathon, and I read it and I thoroughly enjoyed this so much, and I don't understand where the hate came from. Like, honestly, probably one thing is I'm not like a big fan of this cover. Like, I know it's meant to be like kind of like a canvas with paint everything, but it just turned me off. But I really enjoyed the story. I just feel like it was so real in a sense, because like this is set in Australia, but it just really went to show like what a teenage girl's life in Australia is kind of like, but also just like issues in general that books normally gloss over because they need to be like normal. But in this one they actually talk about legit issues and things that happen to people, and just like the way these girls really become so close and how they handle things, and it was just such a beautiful book and I enjoyed it so much. Okay, number three, This Band Is Back, a sequel that you waited a long time for. So many people for this tag list books that they came out 20 years ago and the sequel still hasn't come out, but I don't really have anything like that. Like, yes, Night World I've been waiting a long time for, but I think the one that gave me so much grief for waiting the year for the sequel to come out was Aqua by Sarah J Maas, because I was so obsessed with Aqua, and just to know that I had to wait a whole entire year for this book to come out killed me. Even the wait for Kingdom of Ash wasn't that bad, and it got pushed back a year. So basically for the half of 2016 and the half of 2017 that was waiting for this book, I had no chill, and I mentioned it basically in every video. It was all I thought about, all I could think about was theories. Every time we got information about certain things, it was killing me. And then finally when I got my YA Chronicles subscription box with this book in it, I could have cried. Like, I was so excited to have the book, and I know it isn't as good as Aqua, but I still had such a good time reading this book. But honestly, there has been no other book since then that had captivated me so much with the excitement of it coming out. And like, I just kind of miss that feeling, because like there isn't a lot that I'm sitting there like, oh, I need the third book, or I need the conclusion, I need to know what's going to happen next. Like, I'm just kind of chill, and when a book comes out I read it and then I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that, that's exciting. And even though this killed me, I still loved having that feeling so much. Shine together, bright forever. So number four is For Bride, so a book that took you by surprise. I'm gonna say Rain the Earth by A.C. Gorgon, because I kind of picked this up because I was excited to read it. I think it had like a really good plot. I'm pretty sure I saw it on like the Book Explosion monthly book thing where they kind of talked about this book and they really enjoyed it, and then I got it in a YA Chronicles subscription, so I didn't actually buy this book, so I had a copy. And when I kept seeing it kind of all over the place, I thought I would pick it up, and then it took me by such surprise and shock, and I just loved it so much. And I'm so sad that the rest of the series isn't going to get published because it didn't get enough hype, and I'm just so mad. And even Bloomsbury sent me the second book because of how much I really talked about this on Instagram and on YouTube and everything. Literally one of 2 books that they sent me, like, they never got into contact with me again, so I must have done a shit job of promoting my copy of the book. But I just loved the main character so much. I loved the elemental magic in this, and the romance was just chef's kiss. And I just saw, like, I haven't talked about this book for so long. It's kind of like one of my old favorites now because I'm pretty sure it was my favorite book of 2017. And I just loved it, and it just took me by surprise how much I loved it. Number 5 is Wow, an action-packed book. I'm gonna say Aurora Burning by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff because, like, the first book wasn't that great. Like, I enjoyed it, it was fine, I gave it 4 stars, but it didn't really, like, wow me in a sense. But the second book, my god, shit got real, shit got intense, and I am just here waiting for the 3rd book. And even though I just said that there hasn't been a wait for a book that has captivated me as much, this could be close, this could be kind of close. But I'm trying not to be too excited because we haven't even had a cover reveal. We don't even know what the 3rd book's gonna be called, I don't think. Or did they announce that? I don't think they did. And there's so many theories going on in my head of things that are going to happen or things that might not happen, and it's just stressful. But there was a lot going on, and they definitely stepped it up with this conclusion. Question number 6 is Flying Solo, a book with an incredible friendship. I've mentioned them before, but like Bryce and Danica from House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas, they are such a solid friendship, and I could literally scream about this for so many years. My answer to this was always America and Marley from the Selection series because they did really have like a solid ride or die friendship, and they were so cute. But this has taken the top spot, okay? I'm always going to mention Danica and Bryce, and it's such a unique friendship from the way that it's written, and just they mean so much to each other and literally shaped each other as people, and it's just so beautiful to read about that friendship. And just like, I don't know what they're going to do in the next book to see how much Danica is actually going to be in it or not, because Bryce really had to go through a lot of stuff in this book and kind of had to let go of certain things, but just they are so sweet and I love them so much. Question number 7 is for I Got the Music, so a book that got you out of a slump. I'm gonna say 4 Dead Queens by Ashrid Schulte because I just remember vividly getting through this book in like 4 days when I wasn't really reading much, and I decided to pick it up one night and I read like 70 pages in like one go, and I was so shocked at myself because like I hadn't really been reading too much at that point. Like I wasn't full slump, but then it's like the next day I got up to page 200, and then the next day I just kept reading more and more and more, and then I was just getting so invested because I didn't know what was going to happen in this book. I actually think it kind of caught me by surprise because when there was shit hit the fan, I was like, oh my god. And just one after another plot twists kept happening, and like all these queens have secrets, and just I just was so invested. Okay, I was so invested. It was literally one of my favorite books I read of like 2019, I think that is the year I read it. But I remember just being so captivated, and then I wanted to read like more books like it, and that got me out of like my slumpy feeling for a while there, and then I probably went back into slumping. I'm just very like up and down. Like I don't think I've solidly gotten into a real full slump until I was trying to read Midnight Sun, and that wasn't working for me, and then trying to read Lady Midnight or really anything for this past year, kind of in a slump. But this one was just like a semi-slump, but it definitely got me back into reading. Okay, question number 8 is for The Other Side of Hollywood, so a book with a great ensemble of characters. My god, am I saying that right? Ensemble. Ensemble. I feel like it doesn't sound like it's English anymore to me, but you know what I mean, a group of people, but I'm gonna say Thrown in Glass by Sarah J Maas. But literally, the more you read the series, the more the characters get so good and more keep getting introduced. And I like the fact that like there'll be characters that get introduced in the 3rd book and then they don't interact with the other characters until the 5th book. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe of the book world, in my opinion, and I'm gonna stand by that. This is just awesome because there are so many of them and so many different storylines, and you really don't know what's gonna end up happening because there's so many POV changes, and you just keep following the story, and it's like shit, it's just great, but there's so many characters and I love all of them. Question number 9 is for All Eyes on Me, so the prettiest book in your collection. I really can't think right now, but I know 1,000 Nights by E.K. Johnson is a very beautiful book. Like, I mean, everyone who got a copy of this book has to be excited because they don't print this anymore, and this is like a very rare book now, but it's gorgeous, and just like everything about it is so pretty. But I can't think of like other books on my shelf that are pretty. Like, I'm sure I have pretty books, but I just can't think right now. But I do know this is one of the prettier ones, and I still haven't read this, which like I don't know why. Okay, question number 10, finally free. So a series you wish would never end. So I'm just gonna say, I don't want Cassandra Clare to stop writing books about Shadowhunters because it's just so good. It's such a niche thing for me to keep reading them because they are literally the best. And now that I'm rereading Lady Midnight, I'm getting back into like my love of Shadowhunters, and I even started watching the show again. Like I watched like 3 episodes like a year ago, but now I've picked it back up, so I'm getting back into it. And even though it's like, it's not the best, but it's still fun to watch these characters kind of come to life. And honestly, they have Magnus and Alex so spot on, and I also think it's funny because Jace is just simping after Clary after about 10 minutes of knowing her, which is hilarious because he does that in the book too. But I don't want it to end, and I'm so sad that once Chain of Gold's written, and once the Magnus series is written, and once they do the Wicked Powers, or I think that's the one that's going to be about Kit and Ty, and that, like, that's it. Like, there's going to be no more series. And, like, was the plan always to write 5 major series? The way I kind of see it, though, was with, like, Clockwork Angel and Chain of Gold, that was always, like, kind of like a 6-book series, and I know that they're kind of separate, but with the Mortal Instruments, too, she only planned on writing the first 3, and then the later 3 were kind of added on later, so that's, like, 2 separate series, but same world. And then, like, Lady Midnight and then the Wicked Powers, like, they're going to be 6 books together, 2 separate series, so it's kind of like she's done 3 blocks of generations here, which is really cool, and there's all the novellas, and then we're getting this trilogy about Magnus, but like, I don't want it to stop. I honestly would be happy if she just wrote about every single generation of the Shadowhunters forever. I would totally be okay with that. And I honestly really would like a book to know about the Circle. Like, I know we know what they did, but I'd like to know more about what we've heard about them and actually see them firsthand as like the people that they actually are. Like, that would be really cool. And I feel like she has gotten to the point though, when she writes anything else, all I think about is Shadowhunters. Like, she has found her market and she should just keep writing at it. Like, that's what I want. Okay, number 11 is Perfect Harmony, so your favorite OTP. And just saying, Perfect Harmony is one of the best songs in the whole show. Like, literally my favorite song changes all the time. Like, I feel like my top song is always going to be Edge of Great, but Perfect Harmony, I have listened to it so much, and I've even tried to figure out how to do the dance because I'm that person. So I need someone to do it with me, but I think I've kind of got it spot on. I've even tried to learn Charlie's a little bit when he's like rolling around on the floor. But I love this song, and of course I have to mention Faceend because they are the ultimate top OTP. I've talked about them so much lately because it's been Romance Month in 7 on Sunday, so they've come up a lot, and I've talked about them in tag videos a lot. But basically, I just love them because they're perfect for each other. They're mates, they're cute, and they just have such a strong bond, and I love it. So 12 is Edge of Great, so name a book that is almost perfect. So of course I'm going to talk about The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, which is my favorite book ever. Like, of course, Edge of Great, the best song ever, is matched with the best book ever. But when I first read this book, it completely captivated me, and I love it so much. And even on reread, I loved it so much. It's not just almost perfect, it's basically perfect, but it's just so magical and amazing, and it's about a circus, and I just felt so whimsical reading this, and the romance is just so good, and the magical battle's so good, and I just love it so much. Like, honestly, if you haven't picked it up, you really should, because it is an amazing book. And it's just means so much to me. Okay, number 13 is Unsaid Emily, a book that made me cry. I don't cry in books, but I did sob uncontrollably listening to that scene because, my god, it gets me every time. Like, I thought I would get more used to it after watching the show 5 times. It still makes me sob uncontrollably because I can't deal with that pain. And also, I've started to sob so much during Stand Tall at the end. I didn't do that the first 3 watch throughs, but the 4th and the 5th one, I am just not okay. I sob so bad I can't even see. But the book I'm going to mention for this is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, because I listened to this on audiobook, and there is a certain scene at the end that gets very, very depressing really quickly, and I had an inkling I knew what was going to happen, and it just made me so upset. And because I was listening to it, I was in the car and I was about to get home, and I'm just there listening to it, and I was like tearing up. Like, I was getting so close to crying, but it's just because I was still not able to visually see it. Like, if they make a movie for this, I will sob uncontrollably, and you won't even be able to like talk to me for like ever. But I just know that I was so close to crying, and this is such an emotional book to me, and I really enjoyed it. But a part of me doesn't think I could read this again because of how traumatic the book was for me. And I love this book so much, but like, it has some strong emotions. Okay, number 14 is You Got Nothing to Lose. So a villain you love to hate. So a villain I haven't talked about for ages is the Darkling from Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Literally the only good thing to come out of this book is the Darkling, because I'm not a fan of Alina because she's all talked up so much, but she basically does nothing except whinge about boys. And Mal is so basic, and also Nikolai. Nikolai is a good thing to come out of this world as well. I'm excited for the show, but I also know that I'm just going to be so annoyed at Mal because he's so basic and annoying. And I'm probably going to be annoyed at Alina. So I hope that they liven her up a lot for the TV show, and I'm always going to be here for Ben Barnes because I've loved him since I watched him as Prince Caspian, and then I saw him in Westworld, and now he's going to be the Darkling, which I still can't get over the fact that he's going to be the Darkling. He was always the villain. Like, there has never been any hope or redemption for him, but he was just so, like, evil, and I just love him, even though he killed so many people, and he's so bad. I just couldn't help but love him. Like, the way that she wrote him was done so well, and just I appreciated him as a villain. And number 15, a book that gave you feelings. Well, of course I have to mention Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, because this gives you all the feelings of pain, love, family, happiness, pain again, but like it's done so well and it just gives you everything. You're literally on the whole spectrum of feelings reading this book, and it's a great time. This is what you want from reading. You want to feel the pain and the torment, but then you love it anyway because these boys mean so much to me, the story means so much to me, and it was just written so well. I can't even hold up everything, but like maybe this would be a good thumbnail. I'll be like, like, get it? That's so much effort. My god, my pain level then. Hopefully I got a thumbnail out of that, or I'll do a backup later in case it doesn't work, but that was fun. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed this tag, and I would like to tag Kat from Stars and Ember and probably Jenna from A Little Bit Random, because you guys are the reason I watched this show, because you talked about it so much. So I'm going to tag yous in this to do this tag, because I don't think yous have done this one. I know Jenna did the Julie and the Phantoms book tag, but I don't think she's done the songbook tag, and I don't think Kat has done the Julie and the Phantoms book tag. So if you haven't done that one, you should probably do it too, because it was really fun. But anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!